Welcome to this explainer, everyone. So, you've probably heard the rumor, right? That standard search engines are only showing us the very tip of the internet iceberg. Today, we're exploring a fascinating and honestly critical question. With the dawn of incredibly sophisticated artificial intelligence, can AI actually uncover the 90+% of the internet that remains completely hidden from standard search engines? Or are we just trading a blind spot for a hallucination? Well, let's find out. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll get the hidden web explained. Then we'll compare crawling versus indexing, break down the AI search illusion, look at the very dangerous citation trap, and wrap up with researching in the future.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the hidden web explained.
For over 20 years now, researchers have been sounding the alarm that what we see in search results is just a tiny fraction of the internet. To really get this, we've got to clarify what the deep web actually is. A lot of folks instantly think of the dark web, or, illicit stuff. But actually, the deep web is just any part of the internet that search engines haven't indexed. It's overwhelmingly mundane, totally legitimate content. Think password-protected sites, paywalled articles, the screen you see when you check your bank balance, or just your personal inbox. Think about the structural barriers we bump into literally every single day. Get this, it's estimated that somewhere between 90 to 96% of the web is completely unindexed. 90 to 96%. Why? Well, because getting to that information requires direct queries or login credentials. We're talking massive corporate intranets or deep academic repositories. So much of this stuff lives behind a search bar or a database query form. It's assembled dynamically. That means the web page literally doesn't even exist until you specifically ask a database to generate it. And if it doesn't exist yet, there's no way a search engine can find it.
Moving on to Section 2, crawling versus indexing. Now, you might be wondering, why can't keyword search engines just try harder to find that missing 90%? To understand that, we have to split crawling and indexing into two different buckets. Crawling is the active discovery phase. Search engines send out software bots to discover new URLs by essentially extracting and following links from pages they already know about. It's like following a trail of breadcrumbs. Indexing, on the other hand, is the cataloging part, taking those discovered pages, storing them and organizing them so you can actually search through them later. If a crawler can't find a page in the first place, it absolutely cannot index it. This really perfectly illustrates how even the biggest tech giants operate. Look at Google Search Central's own documentation here. It explicitly admits there is no central registry of all web pages. None. Googlebot discovers new pages almost entirely by following links. So structurally, they're completely locked out of paywalls, secure databases, and login screens, because those systems purposefully block link-following bots.
So here's the absolute kicker. Search engines are link followers by design. If you have what the academic literature calls an orphan page, which is a web page with 0 inbound links pointing to it, it's forever hidden from traditional indexing. It simply doesn't exist to a crawler, no matter how valuable or groundbreaking the content on that page might actually be. Which brings us to Section 3, the AI search illusion. This leads us right into the massive shift we're seeing today in our digital landscape. With the explosion of AI-powered systems, think Perplexity, ChatGPT Search, Google Gemini, we really have to ask, do these incredibly smart tools solve this structural blind spot? Well, the foundation of AI search relies on something called RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. RAG is essentially an architecture that fetches info from a known authoritative database outside of its own training data, and then uses a language model to synthesize that material into a natural conversational response. Basically, it grounds the AI in external facts. But wait, look closely at what that actually means under the hood. AI search is really just a shiny new interface layered over the exact same limited, crawlable index. It's a bit of an illusion, honestly. RAG retrieves information from an index the system already has legitimate access to. It does not grant magical access to the hidden web. It's really just a fantastic upgrade to how already retrieved content is packaged, synthesized, and spoken back to you.
And this limitation builds a really dangerous false sense of security. The promise is that AI will unlock all this hidden knowledge, but the reality is often search failure. AI agents still largely index without interacting. So if a page requires a login or subscription or a complex database query, the AI is exactly as blind as a traditional web crawler. That 90+% of the internet, it's still completely invisible to them.
That takes us to Section 4, the dangerous citation trap. So what exactly happens when these super confident AI tools slam into the exact same structural walls as traditional search engines? Well, think of traditional keyword search like a librarian. If you ask for a book they don't have, they'll honestly tell you, sorry, I don't have that book, and give you 0 results. It's a very clear, honest signal that they hit a limit. AI search, though, it acts like a librarian who, upon realizing they don't have the book, confidently writes a fake one, slaps a fake author's name on the cover, and hands it to you with a big smile. It replaces an honest no results found with a really, really convincing hallucination. And we've got the hard empirical data to show just how dangerous this is. A major March 2025 study by the Tao Center at Columbia Journalism Review put 8 major AI search engines to the test, asking them to find specific news article citations. The results, frankly, they were catastrophic. Collectively, these AI systems gave flat-out incorrect answers to more than 60% of the queries. Just look at the sheer scale of these failure rates. It is wild. Grok 3 had a staggering 94% failure rate. Most of its citations just led to dead links or error pages. ChatGPT search misidentified articles 67% of the time, and crucially, it never once declined to answer when it was stumped. It always gave an answer. DeepSeek was wrong 58% of the time. And Google's Gemini? Across the entire 200-query test set, Gemini produced a fully correct response exactly one single time. The Tao Center researchers made a pretty chilling observation about this. They noted they presented wrong answers with alarming confidence, rarely hedging with qualifiers. Think about that. The AI didn't say, "it appears," or "I couldn't locate the exact article." Nope. It just confidently fabricated URLs and misattributed sources rather than just admitting a page was locked or inaccessible. And that right there is the psychological danger of the citation trap. For anyone doing research, an AI that confidently lies to cover up its blind spots is infinitely worse than a search engine that just gives you a blank page. Finally, let's look at Section 5, Researching in the Future. So how on earth do we survive this? Because relying purely on AI search right now is a massive liability. Here is your survival checklist for cutting through the AI hype. First, stop relying on general search for deep web content. You've got to use direct API integration for academic databases. Querying the database directly is strictly better than hoping a crawler magically finds a form-gated paper. Second, keep using your institutional library access. AI tools are explicitly programmed to stop at paywalls, not illegally bypass them. Third, treat every single AI citation as a fragile lead, never a verified fact. And lastly, remember that even the newest agentic browsers, the ones that claim to browse the web just like humans do, they still inherently fail at complex login screens and CAPTCHAs. To really put this into practice, you need a mandatory step-by-step verification workflow. If you're going to use AI to search, step 1 is physically click and follow the AI-provided URL yourself. Actually verify it goes somewhere. Step 2, double-check the author and title in a trusted index like Google Scholar or Crossref. Step 3, use browser extensions like unpaywall to find legitimate open access versions if you do hit a paywall. And step 4, if the AI gives you a dead link, which, let's face it, happens a lot, plug it into the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine to see if it ever actually existed or if the AI just completely dreamt it up. All of this leaves us with a final, absolutely critical question to chew on as we navigate this new era. As we eagerly adopt these incredibly articulate AI tools, are we simply trading missing information for convincing misinformation? It's something every single focused learner, researcher, and internet user needs to keep front of mind. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious out there and always, always check your citations.